What's up, Chicago? It is Monday. Yeah, right. Monday, April the 20th. I was going to say October. April the 20th, 2015, and Taking the Limits Off is on the air, and I don't hear nothing in my ears, okay? But we are live and back in the studio. Ustream is up and running. If y'all can see just a little bit, I ain't taking on your tour because we ain't quite through yet. But we are back in the studio, and in the studio with me is my guest co-host, Miss Sharisa. How are you, and welcome back.
Thank you, and I am doing good.
Okay, that's good. And I can't hear myself, and I can't hear you either, and I don't know why. So we gonna figure that out. In the meantime, y'all gonna listen to some music for about 30 seconds, because that's all it should take me. And we'll be right back. All right, be blessed. All right, so I'm here.
I can hear you.
You hear what that?
I hear you.
I ain't hear nothing.
I hear you.
No, I don't. Mic check 1 2 2 2.
Yep, I hear you.
Mic check 1 2. I don't. You hear me in the headphones?
Like I can hear the music playing.
Oh, see, I don't hear. Oh, now I hear the music. Okay, my headphones was out. Stupid. All right, so we was on. Is it in both ears or just one?
Both.
Mic check. Okay, there we go. That was a bit special. All right. Whew. Make sure that was clear. Where did she go? All right. All right, good. All righty, and we're back. Gave y'all a little bit of Smoky Norfolk, don't quit, and we are back. Guess that was on me that time. I couldn't hear nothing. Guess you need your headphones plugged up in order for stuff to work. Oh, it finally came up. Man, bless the Lord. Amen. So look, back in the studio, as y'all can see, on Ustream and some other places. I see we got our viewers on Ustream, so I appreciate y'all hanging out with us on Ustream. Let me give you the rundown. If you are already listening via the Blog Talk Radio app, you can catch us at just push 1, rather. If you just push 1, meaning you're already listening to the 347 number, or you can dial 855-381-8804. That's 855-381-8804, and you can be on the air with us. Also, social media, hit us up on Twitter at TTLO Radio. That's Twitter at TTLO Radio. You can also find us on Facebook. Find the page, Taking Limits Off with Devon and Devon on Facebook. That's the page. Also, check out our website, Taking Limits Off at Comcast.net. And last but not least, hit us up on email. Hit us up on email at takinglimitsoff at Comcast.net. I think that's everything. And Ustream people, if y'all want to say something, you can chat, you can send us a comment or whatever over there, and we will see that as well. I think that's about it. So, Risa, you haven't been in the studio since the Friday of the anniversary week, right?
Exactly.
Okay, you put that mic on.
Exactly.
I know you got the rice tendencies. Y'all don't nobody like the microphone but Christine. I just took it.
That my dad.
Right. Well, but she don't even know how to hold it. So nobody like the microphone. Okay, but so yeah, so let's see. So yeah, they had the kids in last week. Yeah, they was on spring break. The show with me, it was really, really good. Had a good time with that one. And so what's been going on? I know you was at church yesterday, so I already know how that was. So what else been going on?
Just celebrated Micah's, my youngest son's birthday. Almost forgot about it, but yeah, he reminded me. So we celebrated that this weekend. He made 12 Sunday.
Okay.
So that was good. And other than that, just keeping up with life and working and making it all work.
Okay. Good. Yeah, you got a birthday coming up, don't you?
I do. Friday.
Watch out now. Slow down. Okay. So, okay. Go get some cake. Okay. So look, we do have a great show for you guys today. We're going to be talking about two very, very good topics. And again, they're on churchleaders.com. We didn't write them. They're on churchleaders.com. The first one is called 9 Traits of Church Bullies. 9 Traits of Church Bullies. And the other one is entitled Your Job, meaning your current job is God's assignment. Your job is God's assignment. That one's actually pretty good as well. So we're going to have some fun with those. Hopefully you guys, if you want to get involved, you know how to find us and hit us up that way. I'm trying to think. Other than that, there's been nothing in the news lately. I said I'm going to ease back and talk about all the shootings because it's like the norm. So I'm easy back on that. But something I think we didn't talk about on the last show when you were here, and I don't think we really addressed it at all, was the teachers that got in Atlanta that with the test. Yeah. Okay. So they gave some people it was like the standardized test or whatever, and apparently they cheated and changed the answers so that their kids could get a better number, so that they could then turn around and get money or something, some type of bonus or something. And I think I saw 3 to 5 of those teachers got sentenced to 7 years.
Yeah, I saw that.
Prison.
And I think then some others get a harsher sentence or something.
Well, they could have gotten a max of 15, but I'm still trying to understand why they went to jail. They gave them like mob charges, like racketeering. Because there was money involved, so, and it was state money. So they got I'm not understanding, how do you lock them up for, okay.
Yeah.
They was all black too, I don't know if y'all noticed.
Yeah, I did see that.
Okay. That's the question. Okay. So, anyway, so yeah, that was the one thing. I'm trying to think, Cardinal George died.
Yeah, I did.
Now that was on Friday, and I missed that one because I don't know. I was running around on Friday. I didn't even know. Time was like that was 10:30 Friday morning. I'm like, oh,
you missed that.
Right. So I mean, no, I'm not a Catholic or whatever, but Cardinal George, he seemed to be like a pretty good dude. He was always like out there. And, he had some sort of Nordic cancer or something like that, and it like always was in his legs. It like made it really hard for him. He was always up. You always saw dude like out there, even when he was down to like his last, he was still walking, he was still out speaking, he was still out helping people. So I just thought that was a good thing. So I know I got some Catholic, we got some Catholic friends in common because Alex is Catholic, right? Right. So, I'm sure that's a blow to the Catholic Church, but that's why he stepped down, I think, last year because his illness, his cancer came back. So, and he decided not to do the chemo anymore either. So.
Yeah, I know that could be kind of strenuous on the body.
Yeah.
So they have 3 services for him.
Yeah, they start this week, right?
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah, that's gonna be huge. So we're gonna keep the Holy Name Cathedral. I think it's the church that he was over. He was the cardinal for Chicago. So we definitely want to keep those people and his parishioners in our prayers. So that's that. I'm trying to think, was there anything else? I didn't see nothing else noteworthy. You haven't watched the preachers of Detroit, have
No, I missed it.
Okay, yeah, I want you to go back and watch those because I don't want to talk about it all by myself because it's kind of really ignorant. So at least I can blame it on you if I say the wrong thing. So the one, the one sister, Dorinda, and then it's the rest of them are a bunch of preachers from Detroit and the one female bishop.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Yeah. Just take just a quick look. you can do like a recap. I think they're like recap videos, and you can just see the gist of the foolery that's going on. So yeah, that's absolutely what's going on. Can't really hear you because she ain't talking to Mike. That's pull that mic up.
You're talking about current events, and I haven't been watching TV or the news, so I'm like, can't really say too much to say. Sorry.
That's her. Okay, right. Get yelled at from the producer. Can't get you. Okay. Anyway, we're going to go ahead and get into, we're going to take a real quick slow break, and then we're going to get into these articles. Yeah, we're going to get into one of these articles real quick. So I just want to give you all a little bit of, go get a little bit more smoky. I'm in the smoky mood this morning, so I'll give y'all a little bit more smoky, and we'll be right back. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, like right. I was like, what did I do? I can't hear some racism. Yeah, we talking about. I know you still watching on newsprint. So. Oh man. Okay, so we gonna do. Bully one first or the job one first?
Let's do the bully one first.
Get it out the way so when you can close out something probably nicer. Okay. Okay. All right. Let's see. Yeah. All right. I read through this last night briefly. So yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, we'll be all right. They put me out, taking my paint with me. I'm taking all my paint with me. No, I'm just. All right. That's right. In his presence, Smokey Norfolk. Yeah. That's on his last CD, right? That was on the last CD. I don't think I have that CD. I think I just downloaded like a couple of songs.
Just best CD. That's the best CD.
Is it really?
Yes.
Like since his first CD or like best period?
I think best period because from the first track to the last track, I listened to the whole CD.
Okay, I'm at to like get it on Spotify.
Yes.
I just like I don't really buy music anymore. I don't think it's
on Spotify. We didn't get it all. I think it's all on there too.
Okay, all right. I'm about to check it out. They don't do Smokey like they do Beyonce. They don't
No.
Okay, all right.
It's all there.
All right, because with Beyonce, you don't get one. Yeah, you don't get the song. You get the songs that don't nobody like.
Oh yeah.
And then the rest you got to go to iTunes and buy. Yeah. For $1.20. I know Beyonce. Okay, so look, we're going to go ahead and get into this article, and we're going to start off with the one that's entitled 9 Traits of Church Bullies. 9 Traits of Church Bullies. This is a good article. This was written by Tom Rainer, so if you go to the Tom Rainer actually has his own website. You can get his articles there as well, but this one was written by him. And it says, church bullies are common in many churches. They wreak havoc and create dissension. They typically must have an enemy in the church because they aren't happy unless they're fighting a battle. My goodness. It says they tend to maneuver to get an official leadership position in the church. Man, I must have really scammed through this last night. Okay, yeah, all right, just keep reading that. And I am reading. All right, so such as chairman of the elders, or deacon, or treasurer. But they may have bully power without any official position. Okay, it says church bullies have always been around, but they seem to be doing their work more furiously today than in recent history. Perhaps this look at 9 traits of church bullies can help us recognize them before they do too much damage. Number 1, before I get to number 1, so I've experienced church bullies. I'm sure you have at some point.
Yes. I'm hoping that at the end of this article, there's like a counter article to how to
I think it's gonna give us that.
deal with church members. Okay.
I think we're gonna learn. We're gonna because it's a learning thing. We gonna get something.
Okay.
Number one says they do not recognize themselves as bullies. Mm-hmm. The writer says, to the contrary, they see themselves as necessary heroes. Wow. Sent to save the church from her own self. Wow. They see themselves as heroes. Okay. I get it.
Mm-hmm.
I do. I get it. I see how this could be easily misconstrued. Now I can hear myself.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, so they see themselves as heroes, and that job simply is to save the church from its own self.
Yeah, and I even think they make statements as to say, if I didn't do this, then who would have done it?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, but that's I completely agree. And you also have people, it's a case of See, now that I'm reading this, it's like this not only can apply to, I think, let me see how I can say this without being like God, your tongue. Like I mean, right. No, I think people can be a bully and not even know they're being a bully. Like is what it's saying. They don't recognize because you might think, well, if I don't do it, it ain't gonna get done.
Yeah.
That now, if that's the mindset of how this is going, then okay, if that's the mindset of how it's going, then I can understand that. But I guess if you're pushing that off on people and if you're constantly making that same statement over and over again, if we don't do it, it won't get done. Or if I don't do it, then okay, yeah. We were told to adjust your microphone again. It needs to be up, like your mouth region. Like up and up a little more, and then just lift up and then two. Right. Yeah. All right.
Is that good?
I guess we'll find out. All right. So, all right. I'm just doing what I'm talking. Okay. Oh, and she can see your face. That's what I was trying to tell you. She can see y'all. Okay. Oh man. Okay. Yeah. See, this new use string gonna get us in trouble. I did move the mic. Okay.
I'm just not talking right now.
Oh Lord. No, that ain't it. I'm gonna read numbers. Okay. So yeah, I think people can be bullies and not recognize it because you think stuff won't get done unless you do it. All right, so let's move on.
Okay.
Number 2 says they have a personal and self-serving agendas. They have determined what their church should look like, and any person or ministry or program that is contrary to their perceived ideal church must be eliminated. Now, see, that kind of works 2 ways. Because somebody could have a ministry that's not functioning, right? And if you have a ministry that's not functioning the way it's supposed to, and it hasn't functioned the way it was supposed to, and if leadership decides that it ain't working, then, and you've been given an opportunity to fix it, let me put it that way, and you were given an opportunity to fix it, and you didn't fix it, then I don't think you can be considered a bully if people decide, hey, we wasting money.
Well, that's true.
If all those things were covered.
Right, if all those things were covered.
Right.
And then what I wanted to add is, like you said, it's their personal self-serving agenda.
Right.
So if we are all under the umbrella of the church, then something is wrong. If the church, basically like church bylaws or rules don't apply to your self-serving agenda.
Okay. I get that.
Okay.
I get that. Yeah, because if they don't, if the rules are, if they pick and choose which rules apply to them. But that's almost what's the term I want to use? Pharisaical. Pharisaical. Because that's what they did. They pick and chose which parts of the Bible they wanted to.
You almost a church within a church.
We are the church. Wow, it just came to my mind.
Yeah.
I will say it one Sunday, just get all kind of trouble. But no, they do. They have their own agendas, and their agendas aren't even about kingdom building. It's strictly about making the church look like they want it to look like.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I know I've been told, because there are people, I have a tendency to give my opinion when it's not needed, but that's why I got to show them. I can just do it on here. You choose to listen if you want to. You can hit the button. However, people get, well, the church ain't going to be the way you want it to be. And I said, I don't want it to be the way I want it to be. I just want it to be right. It ain't got to be how I want it to be. I just want it to be better. I don't want it to be, just getting along just to get along. You can do, like, that's just me. And that's within the church, because it's not just my church. I've been to other churches where you can see it's a little out of order. Yeah. Stuff just happening everywhere instead of what's supposed to be happening. And, that's all. I just, but that doesn't mean I'm going to go around bullying people and saying this. But at the same point, it's not about having a personal agenda. In this case, though, if it's about, since I can't run it, then I'm going to destroy it. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, that's. Yeah, Go ahead, number 3.
Okay. They seek to form power alliances with weak members in the church.
Read that again. I missed it. I'm sorry, my eyes
They
got crossed.
seek to form power alliances with weak members in the church.
They seek. I'm sorry.
They will pester and convince groups, committees, and persons to be their allies in their cause. Weaker church staff members and church members will succumb to their forceful personalities.
Wow. I must have skipped this when I was skipping.
Oh, I saw this.
Oh, you did? Okay. So weaker. Okay, so they grab folks that don't really think for themselves.
Or just got into the church.
Oh, okay. And recruit them, okay, to work on their little team or whatever. And then by doing so, you end up isolating them, because if you messy, then people see them with you, they're going to turn believe that they are also messy. Okay, all right. And then weaker church staff. So that's meaning people who are already in church positions, but they also are kind of weak-minded. So they then get them, because see, think about it like this. If I don't have a position in the church, but you do have a position in the church, but you're not really, on point thinker, so to speak. So me not having a position, I can come to you and whisper in your ear. So then when you go back to your meeting, you're going to be speaking my words. And not, okay, all right. That's how that works, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen it. I see it at work too, but I ain't going to go there. I ain't going there. But it's the truth. It is absolutely the truth. You get people trying to, and that's so unfortunate, because all it does is cause more division.
Yes.
At the very time you want to preach commitment and unity, you still have this line that's drawn, and you don't, and all you know is you on the wrong side of it.
Yes, and don't even know why.
Yeah.
Yeah. They don't, and then the minions, as I'll call them.
The minions
don't even know you.
We need the minions. What you call it? I need to get the minions. They laugh. I need to get a track on the.
Yeah.
We need that. The minions.
The minions.
The minions. That's from that movie, right? The little people.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Okay. Okay. You're gonna have to stop cracking joke messages, because I'm trying to read stuff. All right. Go ahead. What's the next? Yes, please.
Okay. They tend to have intense and emotional personalities. These bullies use the intensity of their personalities to get their way.
Tend to have intense and emotional personalities.
The emotional thing is what I think was what they really use.
So if I cry, I get my.
Yep. You got it. Hit it right on the head. If I cry.
If I yell loud enough. Or if I overtalk everybody in the meeting, then I'm right. Okay. All right. And now here's a question. I'm gonna ask this question to you and everybody. Well, not to ask you, but you already know. But people out there, I know y'all got it. And I said this earlier today about this particular topic. Everybody has experienced a church bully at some point, especially if you've been in the church long enough. Now, if you've only been in church a year or so, hopefully you have experience, and I pray you never will. But if you've been in the church 5 plus, 10 plus years, and you're actively involved in the church, then you've experienced these things. Because, well, maybe you have. Maybe you go to that right church. Maybe you go to that, I'm going to say it ain't perfect church because there ain't no such thing. But maybe you go to some place where you have never experienced that. But I have, and I've been to several churches. I've been a member of 3 churches. Three churches. Yes, I have. But I can say that I've experienced it. And I've heard other people who are members of other churches who have experienced it, and that they were, because they didn't exactly go with the flow, then they were bullied and pushed out, so to speak. So, man, okay, intensity and emotion. All right, okay. All right. Number 5 says they are famous for saying, "People are saved."
Or is that the they say?
They say. It says they love to gather tidbits of information and shape it to hear their own agendas. Wow. Tidbits of information.
Yeah.
What you know about tidbits? Tidbits. I think 10 bits of information.
And then form it into their own agenda.
Right, you know how you tell a story, like you saw, it was a 2-car accident, and by the time you get to you, it was 12 cars, and you barely made it out with your life? Oh, okay. Yeah, so you just go around making up stuff, which you have heard in a conversation that nobody was talking to you in the first place. Okay. And then you take that information, and this is in church now. This is in church. Now, mind you, this is in church. So you, rather than being concerned for your brother or your sister or trying to help them out, you worsen the problem. I don't think that's a word, is it? But it might be. You worsen the problem. You'll get something up on here. You worsen the problem by taking it, running with it, and then adding to the story so that it makes you sound okay. All right. Number 6 says, number 6 says they find their greatest opportunities in low. Okay, wow. They find, I clicked off of that. They find their greatest opportunities in low expectation churches. Wow. It says many of the church members have an entitled view of church membership. Ooh, they seek to get their own needs and preferences fulfilled. They therefore won't trouble themselves to confront and deal with church bullies. That leads to the next issue, which is a consequence of this, which is the consequence of this point. So they find their greatest opportunities in low. So if your church is just mired in mediocrity, and there are no expectations of greatness whatsoever, then these people can flourish. Okay. That's what we do. So I mean, seriously, that's Teresa really trying to over not to talk. This is a talk radio show. I won't need I understand, but this, however come, this is a talk radio show. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. God will. It's gonna be all right. So yeah. So I mean, seriously, that's just so, man, on point.
It is, and I just, like you said, they flourish in that type of thing. If a church does, like I said, doesn't have great expectations, then it goes all the way back up to, I think, number 2. Where that bully can come in and set their own personal agenda.
Absolutely.
And that's what they do. They establish their agenda. They get what they want going. They get their church within the church going, and everything is going the way they want it to go. Not to say that we don't know if God is behind this. We don't even know if the pastor is behind this, but because we have those low expectations.
Right.
And then it goes back to we haven't gotten to number 7, but number 7 coincides to why they flourish and they continue doing what they can do.
I mean, it's unfortunate, and the thing is, and I've said this 100 times, even if God will never give you a vision that's going to contradict with the vision of the leadership. So if you all of a sudden got this idea of what you think the church should be, if he hasn't shown that to whoever's in charge, bro, you might well keep your idea to yourself. I've learned that the hard way, because seriously, because I see stuff that I think should be a certain way, and it's like, you don't see this, and it's like, okay, you know what? It ain't for me to say no more. Just had to learn that's not my role, that's not my, as I was told by this preacher, you ain't been graced for that, so shut up. Okay. What he told me. He said, you can't preach that particular sermon either, so no, you can't, because you have not been graced for it, so it can't come from you. I'm like, okay, all right, I'll keep it in my bag and go somewhere and say it somewhere, just not here. But but no, seriously, so it's just one of those things where I just find that so, man, that's just so eye-opening that it's like when you see it, if a church has low expectations, but that's with anything, though. Yeah. That's with anything. Because if you have low expectations of people, then, and if you're a person with low expectations, then anybody can come along and lead you anywhere. Okay. Yeah. Okay. I agree. Yeah. They seek to form alliances with weak members. Exactly. And that's just not for church. That's period. Yeah. That's absolutely period. Wow. Okay. Go ahead. Do number 7 because it's there. Yeah.
They are allowed to bully because church members will not stand up to them.
Wow.
I have spoken with pastors and church staff who have been attacked by church bullies. While the bully brings them great pain, they have even greater hurt because of the church members stood silent and let it happen. Now, on the other hand, let me say, I don't know, and I'm speaking from experience, if people stand back and let things happen, or do they feel that will cause another uproar if they actually said something within the church?
Some people, I think if we read it, if I read this right, if I comprehended, I should say, you have two different people that could be accused of standing back and letting it happen. Those that are in leadership that see it and ignore it. Now, if it's happening to you, my thing is, now, how long do you allow it to happen before you say something? Okay. Or do you just let it build up to a point?
Okay, well, if you have said something.
Okay, and then if you have said something and it causes an uproar, then it is what it is. Okay. I tell people like this all the time, and I know people get upset, but when Jesus was in the temple and he saw them selling them bogus animals, it wasn't because they were selling, it was because they were selling bogus animals. It wasn't because they were selling. Make that clear. My people who don't believe people to sell stuff. It's not because they were selling, it's because they was cheating people and selling them diseased animals for sacrifice. That's why he got mad, but he turned the tables over. Right. Now, I ain't saying go and flip the table over, although I have on occasion had the urge to throw a microphone, flip a table, kick over a podium. That's been there. Throw a seat out the balcony. I've been there. That's just, but, somebody drinking a 2-liter in the middle of the church. I had, the thought crossed my mind to throw something. But no, if something happens, it needs to be addressed. And you address it, I think we talked about this in another article. You bring it to the person who committed the offense, and either they're going to recognize it, most of them don't, as I said earlier, bullies don't recognize that they're being bullies. And then if it continues, then you need to address it higher up. But then, like you said, you don't want to be the cause of a quote unquote miniature riot, right, so to speak, but it needs to be addressed. It does. It just does. And I got to a point, and I put to you guys that I talked about me when I took my sabbatical. And when I came back from, I just got to a point, everybody just don't get it. If you ask me, you're gonna be, if it ain't right, I'm just gonna say this, and then we're gonna move on. I ain't gonna be mad, I ain't gonna carry no grudge, because I'm still gonna come to church, because I don't come for you. So, but still, even still, it can't be this walking around tension. But that same tension will cause a problem, because if every time I see you, I keep thinking about your foolery.
Yeah. So you think that the bullies are the reason that, because instead of people like causing an uproar or
Yep. Okay. Or they either leave, or they become real, or they separate themselves and start their attendance starts to become sporadic. And that's not even just because of bullies. even though that's the topic, but if it's disorder,
Yeah.
some people can't stand disorder. You know, I say this all the time. Like, you know, a restaurant get one time to screw my stuff up, especially if it's a nice restaurant. You know, I can understand McDonald's get the order wrong. I get that. But if it's a nice restaurant and you screw it up and then you don't even care that it's screwed up, oh no, that's my last time. Unless your margaritas are really good. I'm sorry. But that's your last time. You know, no, seriously, but that's the last time.
Yeah.
But with people with church,
Right.
you know, if you come, I got to stand at the door, and I've seen this happen. People come to a door of a church, and they wait on you to get in a bulletin, and you ain't never, and the usher don't turn around, and they stand there. And I've seen people purposely wait until you stand there, and you looking all over here, and you're like, oh, hey, yeah. If I was new to that church, I would think it twice before coming back. And if it's one of these situations where I'm a member or a new member of the church, and I see things like this happening, even if it's not happening to me, what if I'm witnessing it happening to you? And my thing is, why are you doing that, and why are you letting them? Okay, I don't need to be here because there's some other stuff going on. Let me find another church.
But I think we don't become conscious of stuff like that until we're actually a visitor.
Yep.
So we become so comfortable with how things operate in our own church.
Yeah, it's the norm.
We don't see it.
That's just how it is.
Yeah, and I said, oh man, we got a job to do here at our church.
Yeah.
Once I went out that other Sunday, I'm like, whoa, you know.
You see stuff all the time, and you wonder, like, and some stuff I understand is money. You know, when we talk about equipment and stuff like that, I get it, it's money. But the little stuff, and I say this all the time, it's the little bitty things. Having a greeter at the door.
Doesn't cost anything.
Don't cost nobody nothing, but somebody's time. Somebody actually wants to do it. Right. Having a greeter at the door. Having ushers who actually pay attention to people. You know, having a program that's not outdated, that's not, 45 years old. I say 45, so that don't apply to everybody. having a program that's not 45 years old. Making little and being flexible enough to recognize that we need to shift in the middle of this sometime. And just allow things to go and not force it, so to speak, but at least be cognizant of what's going on in the room and shift the program. And that goes from like I said, from the parking lot all the way to the pastor's office. Right. It's all in between. And if anything is lax, it's going to throw off everything. Your sister texted me last week, and she said, how come choirs don't sing a song to match the sermon no more? Right. And you know what? I had gotten so used to it not happening, I had forgotten. And I said, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, that don't happen no more. And it's not just, I've been to other places. And I'm like, they don't do that. And I'm wondering, is it because I remember back in the day, it was like you just had a repertoire of songs. Like, okay, if you preach on faith, Denise, you gonna sing faith. If you preach on love, somebody gonna sing. I mean, it was a bunch of songs that you just had in your repertoire. Yeah. And it was like, if any of these come up, here you go. And we just gonna sing it if we got the people. But yeah, I don't get it.
Half our musicians aren't even in there to hit a sermon, so. Okay.
Well, one of them in the back, like in the little closet. Seriously, the closet behind his way said. Okay. Seriously. And you think I'm playing? He might just see not even in the trouble. But he got his Bible open and everything. He's sitting in that little closet. I guess I don't understand. I don't know. I'm like, is it intervention? Man, you ain't know? I guess. Throw it back in the room. Stop. What was we at?
Number 8. Okay,
that's what we at now? All right, go ahead. Number 8.
Okay, number 8. They create chaos and wreak havoc. A church bully always has his next mission. While he or she may take a brief break from one bullying mission to the next, they are not content unless they are exerting the full force of their manipulative behavior.
Wreaking havoc.
Yes, and create chaos.
Ooh, man, havoc, chaos.
Yes.
Right? I've seen it. because I've been, I blame myself. I've been slow enough to think that it like stopped for a minute. You know, I bought into it. That it's like, okay, yeah, all right, you done learned your, oh, here you go again. Yeah.
That's so true. Yep, and think that, okay, it stopped.
Right, we talked, we addressed it.
And then here's something pops up on the other side in a whole nother ministry. You know?
Yeah.
Like, what is going on?
I think people are, I think you know what it is for some people. When you don't know what to do, you do too much.
Yeah. Okay.
I think that's seriously. I think that's. Did I use that for a sermon time? But seriously, when you don't know what to do, you do too much. Seriously, because I think people get so sidetracked because they want to be involved based off of their name or who they're related to. So they automatically assume like, well, I need to do something. Because if I just came and didn't do something, like I'll give you an example, like you y'all, like all of your family is involved in church just about. So let's say Micah, because he just turned 12. Micah getting to be like 16, 17, and he decided, I'm just gonna come and sit right here on the bench. But everybody else in the family is involved. You need to be doing something. Well, no, he don't, because if he has not been felt, if he don't feel like he's been called to a particular ministry, there's no need for him to do nothing, and there's nothing wrong with that. But see, we put this pressure on ourselves that, my husband is a deacon, or my husband is a preacher or a pastor. I got to do something. No, you don't. No, God didn't call you to. That's just the truth. I don't care. No, I got debates with some preachers and some pastors. God called you. He did not call your wife. He didn't call her to that particular ministry. You know, your husband is a deacon. Now, you might not, the deaconess ministry, which is not really, that might not be for you.
That's true. That's true.
Now, you support him, yes. Right. But as far as, the deacons' wives are putting this together, okay, y'all have fun. You're not obligated to go. You were his wife before you became his deaconess. So if he decides, I think that causes problems, because now here you come, you really don't want to be there, but you come because you feel obligated to.
Right.
But then if you really don't be there.
Right, because that's the worst support.
Man.
I'm just here because I don't want to get fired. But just coming because,
seriously, you're better off. You're better off. You're better off not coming or participating, I should say. Not saying don't come to church, but you're better off not participating in that ministry because you shouldn't feel obligated to. But what happens is with these people, when a lot of these people who are bullies, they are in position by name or by somebody else's position. And then they force themselves into every little ministry, wreaking havoc. Even though they say, well, y'all do it how y'all want it, but even though here's the whole plan right here.
You're right.
And if you don't follow it like I wrote it down, even though I can show it to you,
I'm going to take over.
Right. Okay, yeah. No, we don't. No. Y'all stay at home for that one. I'm good. Okay. Last one. Number 9 says they often move to other churches after they have done their damage. They do that. It says whether they are forced out or simply get bored, they will move to other churches with the same bullying mission. Some bullies have wreaked havoc in 3 or more churches. You real busy. You going around just tearing up churches. 3 or more. Okay, so they leave. Now see here. Now this is kind of interesting because I thought about this. So those people leave the church because they know they're going to toe up something. The other ones that don't leave, they stay because they think they're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
They stay, knowing that they've caused people some harm, but they think they're doing it the right thing. That's like the article we did before, where it was doing the right thing for the wrong reasons.
Right. Yeah.
You might truly know that the roof needs to be fixed, but the way you're going about doing it is the wrong way. Yeah. Or you might know that we need to do this, but because you picking this hand-picked new people that don't have a clue on how anything works. Yeah, it's sad.
Yeah.
Because those people are new. I mean, they ain't even fresh out of new member training, as they say.
Or if they even went, you know what I mean? So it's just like,
Did I go?
yeah, you did.
I did.
I don't know. I thought you meant like that. I didn't go there. But
Did I participate? No. Well, you can't. No, let me stop. Okay, so go ahead.
regardless if you went or not. Well, basically, like you said, they grab up these people that
Yes.
haven't been in church, and the only thing that they know of church is you.
Mm-hmm.
And like you said, you're causing all this havoc and chaos,
Mm-hmm.
and then, like I said, I call them meetings. You've trained them to act and display the same behavior as you.
Mm-hmm.
So it continues. And in my experience, they haven't really moved church to church. They just moved ministry to ministry within the same church. So grabbing up new people and just causing this whole new, like I call it, a church within a church.
Yeah.
Well, they're over there and we're over here. And the pastor's preaching unity and
obedience,
and they still on their own thing. And we all looking at what's going on, but yet nobody says nothing. And that's my thing. Okay, so how do we? But I'm looking at the article and he says he'll address that Wednesday. So it's like, how do we? Because I feel like, and Lord, I pray I am not a bully, but how do you approach these, or how do you approach them in a loving way? Because most of the time they're not willing to receive it or to.
I'll give you an example. And I'll try to do this as general as possible. I had an experience with a church bully, and this person went on this. I'm not gonna work out to tell this the right way. I had an experience where this person was doing that, and I got this phone call out the blue. Saying, or email, text saying, when would you be available to talk? And I just want to call you and sit down and I responded. And I had this long, drawn out conversation, but really I just listened to because by the time this apology happened, I was over it. So it was like, I'll listen, but I'm good. I know who you are now. I recognize it, and I'm good with it, but I know now where my level of, interest in you has now, fell way back over here. So I really don't care what you do anymore. Before I did, because that's why it bothered me. Now it's like, you've shown me who you are. And I think it was Maya Angelou said, once a person shows you who they are, believe it. And that it is what it is. So I anyway went through this whole process, and I'm sorry because I was mad at you and all this other stuff, and gave me these examples for why they were mad at me in particular. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. Here I am thinking that, whatever the reason was, had nothing to do with that. And you walk around carrying that, really? And you chose not to say anything? And what you were mad about really had nothing to do with you, because you were mad because I wasn't here. So, really? So, so anyway, and now, it's cordial. I can crack a joke with anybody here, but it's just but that's about where it's at. I ain't trying to break bread. I ain't trying to. I mean, if it happens, it's because we here. It's downstairs. And your daddy cooked some chicken, but basically, I drink Kool-Aid with anybody now. That Willie Charles Kool-Aid. Also, I'm from folk churches. It's a church in the church. I was part of Willie Charles Ministries. Y'all know Willie Charles Ministries? Okay, no, but but seriously, it's one of those things where you can't. It's interesting now because I'm watching the dynamic of that particular relationship now, and it's now it's like, okay, what you really mean? Like, I heard what you said, but what you really mean? So now it's like every word that comes out of your mouth, I'm parsing it, and I'm trying to make sure I read between the lines so I don't miss it like I did last time when I was like all gung ho, Yeah, he does have this other article up. It's actually on his website. If you click that on the link on Tom Brady's website, 9 Ways to Deal with Church Bullies. Yeah. which is quite interesting. So yeah, we gonna have to do that. I'll wait for you to come back to do that one.
Okay.
So that was actually pretty good too. So for some reason I thought we might have touched it, but I don't remember. I don't recall, as I said. But yeah, I think if anybody is dealing with bullies, they need to be confronted though. I 100% believe they need to be confronted because with any bully, they bully you. You know, everybody's a bully until they get hit in the mouth. Mike Tyson said that. He's the baddest man on the planet until he got hit in the mouth. So, you know, and with bullies, you hit them back. Sometimes you do it with kindness. Sometimes you do it just by, you have to speak your mind to them. You have to just put them in their proverbial place, so to speak. And some people, what I've learned is some people will respect you more for being man or woman enough to tell them how you feel versus you ignoring them. Because when you ignore them, some bullies take that as I won and they keep coming. Because they take it as, people take humility and being humble as a sign of weakness.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Well, help me. Help me.
Oh Lord, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's it. I would just, I would tell people just pray for them, but don't let. I don't even let nobody walk over you. I don't care. I'm sorry. And if I'm wrong, preachers, y'all pray for me because I don't believe let nobody just walk over you. I am not at the turn the other cheek, slap me, and I give you slap me on the right, and I give you the left. Because if you slap me on the right, I'm ducking and throwing the left. So help me. I'm sorry. I know I'm wrong. Pastor Singleton, if you watch it, I'm sorry. I know you on your screen. You watch it. Y'all just I'm sorry. But yeah, we need to work on that. Pray for me too.
Help me.
Pray for me too. Okay, so they're telling me to check X. Why is my Xfinity? Go to yours. Go back to the emails, man. Yeah, that one. No, one more over. And then click on the inbox. You can open it.
Okay.
Yeah, because mine is not open. We got an email. Oh, comment. Oh, that one, yeah. What's that say?
Okay, it says, I think that the church bullies also have a tendency to tell people what they need to do and how they need to be. They spend too much time worrying about other people instead of themselves.
Well then. Well then, okay. All right. Yeah, you think. Yeah, because it's easier to worry about what you're doing wrong than it is for you to focus on what I'm doing wrong. Yeah, that's yeah, absolutely. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna wrap that up. 9 ways to deal with bullies. I'm sorry, not 9 ways to deal with bullies. It was 9 traits of church bullies. We're gonna wrap that one up, and we're gonna come back and hit that other article. We're gonna take a quick break so we can catch our breath. And I heard some noise. I'm looking like a drunk kid. I'm sorry. We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we are going to jump on the article of your job is God's assignment. Your job is God's assignment. So those of you who might not like your job so much, we're going to get into that a little bit. So we're going to take a break. I think I did all my little smoking off. I just wanted to add some more smoking because I don't have no more. Yeah. Okay, we'll do this one. Oh, I just get a little bit of that. Ooh, she loud. See, it didn't go that bad.
No, it was text me saying you get kicked out.
See? Nah, it really didn't go that bad. Because I could have been that too, but I tried not to. Let's see. My mom didn't text me, so that's good. Anytime she don't text, I'm good. Yeah. She be the main one. You went too far. You went too far. I told you, why you over there? Oh, God.
Extra nice.
Oh, Lord. Okay. Let's see. Where is the thing? Yeah. Somebody posted a video today. I was going to share it too. It was a video of some church from I don't know how long they were singing Old Ship of Zion. Boy, they be gone, dude.
They was singing
He
it.
was humming it. I was like, let's see if they sang it like that, it wouldn't bother me. You know, if they sang it like that, I'm good. But no.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with hymns, but when you sing them like you got one foot in the grave already, then
just take me down.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good. I can't do it. Yeah, if you sing it right, and I don't even leave the Dr. Watts, just if you don't hum it. Deacon Bird used to hum it, Deacon Langworthy not so much.
Right.
That really wasn't his forte.
That was not.
Right, but Deacon Bird used to hum it. Mother Hopper.
Right.
Mother Hopper is about 200. I thought she was dead, but they told me she's still alive out in, who was that? Pat Donald was that's one who told me. And Miss Goggins, actually, they both there. They told me that Mother Hopper, yeah. They told me that she got to be 100 though.
She gotta be. Music.
Because I think she's older than, the music stuff. Oh, thank you. She got to be, right, she got to be about 200 though. Sorry about that. We was up there talking about some stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I know I'm about to get yelled at. I know. I forgot the music had stopped. Yeah. Oops. Yeah, we was talking about hymns, and for those of you watching on YouTube, y'all got to hear it. But we was talking about hymns and what is it? Dr. Watts. Yeah, if you sing them right. Right. If you sing them the way that I think the writer intended, then you are good. But
yeah, like I said, if you singing them like you got one foot in the grave,
then we
gonna pass.
We gonna pass. I'm gonna bust out one. I keep telling people, they keep saying don't. I'm gonna bust out one. I preach one time. I promise you, I'm gonna bust it out. I'm gonna wait till I'm 50 though. I think you get it when you're 50. I think that's when it. I think that's when that old voice kicks you. I don't think it worked until you're like 50. I don't know. But I'm gonna try when I'm 50. I'm gonna try when I'm 50. Okay. Really? See, this is why I don't mess with these people. See that right there? So like next month.
Oh.
See. See. The foolery of mankind. All right. So we're gonna keep it moving. Your job is God's assignment. This one is so this is like a joint thing because this one was with the Gospel Coalition. We use their articles too. This is by John Piper. I think everybody knows who John Piper is. But he's an old school preacher from way back in the day. But John Piper wrote this one. He says, also editor's note. Let's see here. He says, on Sunday, June 14, 1981, John Piper preached on 1 Corinthians 7, 17, and 24, which begins, only let each person lead the life that the Lord has assigned him to, and to which God has called him to. The point of Piper's message, he said, could be stated as a declaration and as a prayer. As a declaration, it would be, how you fulfill the demands of your vocation is an essential part of Christian discipleship. Or to put it another way, how you do your job is a big part of your obedience to Jesus. Obedience. Stated as a prayer, the main point is, Father, grant to us all the grace to be conscious of your presence at our work and to obey our commands in all our vocational relationships. He then explained how the declaration and prayer related to Paul's letter to the churches in Corinth. He concluded his sermon by offering 4 helpful and practical implications for our work. You can click them. If you got the article, follow, there's a link there. You can go ahead and click it to read it. So that's interesting though. That he, at the very beginning, he said, only let each person lead the life that the Lord has assigned him to, and that which you were called to. Kind of goes back to the bully article. You working in stuff that you ain't got no business. That's why you just messy and taking over everything. Work where okay. All right, go ahead and read the first paragraph on this one. Sorry.
First, God is much more concerned with the way you do the job you now have than he is with whether you get a new job.
Wow.
We have in this congregation nurses, teachers, carpenters, artists, secretaries, bookkeepers, lawyers, receptionists, accountants, social workers, repairmen of various sorts, engineers, office managers, waitresses, plumbers, salesmen, security guards, doctors, military personnel, counselors, bankers, police officers, decorators, musicians, architects, painters, house cleaners, school administrators, housewives, missionaries, pastors, cabinet makers, and many more. And we all need to hear that what lies most on the heart of God is not whether we move from one to another, but whether in our present work we are enjoying. God promised presence and obeying his command in the way we do our work.
Amen. Just real quick before I jump all on this argument, got an email from someone saying, you don't have to wait till you're 50. Somebody said. Really? Thank you, Sister Geraldine King. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Right. I can't. My note ain't quite right. You tell Tyrone to play in D. If you put it in D, I won't ever say I'm off key if I'm in D. You want to hear that week I was off this album. Every note I sang was off.
I heard.
Oh, they talk about me? You know what? See? No, I'm saying I'm not really. It's all good though. It's all good. It was all off. It was all off though. For real. I felt it. It was like, that's because, I'm telling you, we're going to get on argument. That's because Danielle was standing over here.
She was on the wrong side?
Because they had her singing soprano.
Oh.
And Pat was over here, and she was singing her version of alto. And then giving me the tenor note, which just, I can't multitask up there. I mean, you supposed to be over there, and she supposed to be over there. So, yeah, I was off. And it wasn't my fault. Tell you about it. Right. Okay. In trouble. Yeah. Okay. I made you ask you to read this one because this was too many comments and There's about 7,000 comments. Yeah. Okay, so at the end he says that we all need to hear what lies most of the heart of God and not whether we move from one to the other. Okay, so we talking about your job. This applies to church and your regular job.
Yeah.
You need to be, how are you working the job that you have?
Right.
You want to start this ministry, you want to start that ministry, but that ministry is in shambles, but now you want to start a new. Or you want to leave your current job. Are you doing it to your fullest? I guess is my question.
Right.
Are you working it as hard as you can, or are you barely just doing enough not to get, I'm gonna get not to solve it.
Exactly. And I think that's what the writer is trying to tell us, that be appreciative of what you have already, and do your job to the best of your ability, even if you are seeking another job.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't say, well, I'm gonna get a new job in 2 weeks, so I'm coming here maybe 10, 20 minutes late, or maybe just call in, period. I think a lot of people, when they are looking for new jobs too, is one thing they have to keep in mind, that a lot of times they reach back, and I know it's not, they reach back to see, would you hire this employee again? And if you're just half doing the job because you have another job, you might not get that job so fast.
Yeah. I understand, like people getting new jobs, I get that, but even, this is the one that gets me. And I can use my own experience with employees of mine that I had and used to have or whatever. We get a position open for a full-time job. So 9 times out of 10, I've always been one who believes you hire internally for a full-time job. Like if you have a part-timer who's doing great work, give them the opportunity rather than going outside and hire somebody you don't know that you're gonna have to probably spend a lot of time training and resources, where I can grab you who's already here, you know the system, I can just update you on the new stuff and be good. So we put these jobs out, and I put them out to everybody, and I'd be shocked at some of the people who actually had the nerve to apply. Because all of a sudden now you part-time, mind you. So you work either, we had these little crazy shifts, you either work 8 to 12, or 12 to 5, or 12 to 4, or 5 to 9, these little 4-hour shifts for part-time. Or we had, 10 to 2, 2 to 6, or whatever. You can't get to work on time for none of your part-time shifts. None of them. But yet, you want to apply for the full-time job at 8 o'clock in the morning, but you constantly send, or not constantly, consistently send. I get an email saying that you're late. We have a system that at the clock into. It's like it's an online time card. Every day, at 9 minutes after the hour of that particular start time, if you're not signed in, it shoots me an email. I get them religiously, and the same people's names. But you're gonna apply for the full. Why would I hire you?
Yeah, I haven't been in a position of hiring, but I've been on a team.
Yeah, you know.
I've seen people apply for jobs, and it's like, I wouldn't even want to work with you.
What? Really? You don't get that?
Yeah, it's like really, I don't want you on my team.
I remember even as a part-timer, when I was at Comcast, 300,000 years ago, but when I was at Comcast, and we all had opportunity to apply for like a assistant manager position. And, I applied, some other people applied, and it was like, I had this one guy, he got a special, like, man, it's not when I be your boss, right? Like, do you really think you're gonna get that job? And it ain't about throwing no shade, but we started at 1. I'm here at 12:30. I'll see you after my first break.
Like, really?
But you applying for the manager position. Okay. So you really think, or you get the one who they think they should apply because they show up every day, but your work is bogus. Mm-hmm. We got to come behind you and clean your stuff up. Every cell you submit is error.
I've seen that too.
But you applying for the manager position. Well, you don't really need to do all that once you get up there. You ain't really doing that. No, I don't want you over me. No, I'm good. Now that's and then he says, whether it's our present work we are enjoying, God's promised presence and obeying his commands is the way we do our work. So if you're not even being honoring the position that you're in currently, what makes you think you should be moving? Now, it's one thing if if it's just a bad job, you're being mistreated or whatever. If because sometimes we take mistreatment as you mistreating me or you checking me for just being late. See, that's two different things. But I just find it so weird that people can think that they can do this lackluster stuff.
I think it goes back to a sense of entitlement again.
Yes. Let's take it back to church. Okay. Let's go back to church. Let's say, here's a fun. So I'm an associate minister at the church, and I'm like chronically late for everything, like all the time. And when I am there, I'm never prepared. My stuff is never in order. I confuse the hell out of you when I do get up and talk. And whatever. And then the pastor position open, and all right. So number 2, is second, he says, as we have seen, the command to stay in calling in which you were converted is not absolute. Again, because it's not confusing. He says, second, as we have seen, the command to stay in the calling in which you were when converted is not absolute. So what he says is it does not condemn all job changes. We know this not only because of the exceptions Paul allowed to his principles here in 1 Corinthians 7. He says, but also because Scripture depicts and approves such changes. There is a provision for freeing slaves in the Old Testament, and we are familiar with a tax collector who became a preacher and a fisherman who became a missionary. He says, besides this, we know that there are some jobs in which you could not stay and obey God's commands. For example, prostitution. Numerous forms of indecent and corrupting entertainment, and others in which you may be forced to exploit people. Paul is not saying that professional thieves or Corinthian cult prostitutes should stay in the calling in which they were called. The question in Corinth was, when we come to Christ, what should we abandon? And Paul's answer is, you don't need to abandon your vocation if you stay in it with God. His concern is not to condemn job changes, but to teach that you can have fulfillment in Christ, whatever your job is. This is unfashionable teaching in contemporary Western society because it cuts the nerve of worldly ambition. We need to think long and hard about whether what we communicate to our children about success is biblical or just American. Wow. He says the word of God for all of us success seekers is this. Take all that ambition and drive it that you are pouring into your upward mobility and pour it instead into spiritual zeal to cultivate an enjoyment of God's presence and obedience in his revealed will in Scripture. Man. All right. Okay, so this is what I got. This is what I got. He says that the Bible gives us provision for changing jobs because of a particular situation. So he used freeing the slaves. I'm assuming talking about the children of Israel. And then he said, you know, he gives a provision, I guess, with Peter and the rest of them, tax collectors becoming preachers and so on. All right. He's not condemning people changing their job. That's not what we're saying. But what we were saying is that how you do your job. But what he also says, if your job is bogus,
then maybe you need to change it, right?
Right. And if your job is separating you from the will of God, then selling drugs on the street ain't.
Yeah.
So if I decide I want to come to church and work in the church,
then you need to rethink your
job.
Because
or the call.
Or your call, right.
Well, you really ain't supposed to rethink the call.
Because it says, how can you stay in that job and still obey God's commandments?
Okay.
And if you were like a street dealer, and he says you're exploiting people.
Mm-hmm. So you're really out of the will of God.
Right, you're really out.
Or a prostitute, if you still selling your body and then shouting no son. Okay.
Even if you don't sell it, you partake in.
Okay. If you're partaking.
Yeah.
From the sale and use of intoxicating drink.
God's command or is that man? Okay, I'm sorry.
No, it ain't. It ain't in the Bible. The Bible does not say. No. I dare you to call me. I dare you to email me. I'm looking right at y'all. I dare you to call me, email me, tell me that the Bible says you cannot drink. Show me a scripture that says specifically, not you put some spin on it, that says thou shalt not drink intoxicating beverages. Bible says don't get drunk. That's what it says. And if y'all really want me to go a little bit further, then, you know, back in that time, water was not like easy to get. Wine was. They drank wine for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Now the Bible does say a little wine soothes the stomach. Now I said a little wine. I ain't saying 40. Now that's
Captain Morgan, bring your blood count up too.
I'm gonna let that go because she said that.
No, not Captain Morgan.
Captain Morgan.
Not Captain Morgan. Morgan David.
Morgan David. All right. Morgan David, y'all. Morgan David. I got another Xfinity. Are you serious? We got another email. Is this the one I read about being 50? Or because no, it must be another. Where is that? Is it your thing slow over there?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see here. Yeah, let's see here. Oh, okay. It says, I've heard people say that they were blessed with a job that they weren't necessarily qualified for, but they got the position anyway. Should the person believe that this was a blessing or not? No, absolutely. No, I believe people were blessed to get jobs that they weren't necessarily qualified for, or their resume didn't fit the job, but their experience might, or something. But no, I believe that. No, I got a couple of jobs early on that I knew I wasn't supposed to get. So yeah, because I ain't like the people who went to school on time. You know, I went late, real late.
I think if you
real late.
Real late. If you show due diligence,
right.
I think God will bless you with those jobs. And if you're actually working the job that you're in, not to say that you get that position and then you just sit in that position, but you're actually working. And yeah, he'll move you up to places where people are like, how did you get that job? Well, but you know, you're actually working that job and performing that job. And like you said, the resume might say that I'm not qualified, but
I mean, look at the examples that he gave. You had, he says there was in the New Testament, you had a tax collector who became a preacher. Now, you wouldn't think about that in real time. You've been working in the IRS all your whole life, but tomorrow you're a preacher. Yeah. Now, that would have to mean that even though you were working for the IRS being a tax collector, that you were still studying God's word, and that God finally revealed something to you, and you started sharing it with people, and people started believing in what you were saying about God, and they followed you, and you became a pastor. Absolutely. That can happen. So yeah, I believe some people were given jobs. God bless people to have certain positions, even though their resume, just like I believe God gives people certain blessings that their credit certain things for.
Yeah.
You know, He gives people certain things. Now, that blessing can become a curse depending on how you, what type of steward you are over.
Right.
That good you get.
Yeah.
If you don't do what you're supposed to do, or if you put too much into it, that job becomes your God.
Right.
Now that job now becomes a curse.
I even use me as an example.
Come on in.
What the devil, like they said, what the devil meant for evil, God turned around and meant for good.
Okay.
Here I am diagnosed with lupus and on dialysis and all that. And then they create a job.
Yeah.
A job, and I'm like, out of nowhere, that goes and talks about my life on dialysis. And I'm like, and they paying me. So it's not.
Watch out now. Look,
Right.
I'm not shouting track. I'm leaving my shouting track. Don't let me go in.
I could have been sitting at home, moping and worrying about it, but he made a job for me to go and talk about my life and how my life has changed. So
now that ain't God.
Yeah, if that ain't God, I'm like, wow. And I didn't even apply for this job. So
see,
look at God.
Now look. All right, we can take up a collection. Let me pass the plate. Let me get some plates. Can we get some collection? Yes, we got.
Not saying I'm still looking for something else, greater. But while I'm in my transition,
that's right. You use what you got.
Right.
What you got. Exactly. That's good. So then he says at the end of this, if it's a bad job, we talked about briefly. If you're doing something that's completely against God, whether here they use the example of prostitution, but if we bring it to real time, so when prostitutes still exist, right?
Yeah.
It's just like out on the corner where I used to see.
Right.
Okay. Remember how Madison used to be all up and down the street?
Oh, they said that.
Are you for real?
Yeah. I love that past sister road. Where that buy.com.
Okay, it's hot to live out.
Right.
Okay. They used to scare the heck out of me. I'm like, how do you sell it? Okay. But rough. But no, but seriously, like even with if it's whether it be drugs or if people go, we don't like go drugs and prostitution. You could be a bogus mortgage dude, scamming people, then they get houses that they can't afford that they're gonna lose just so you can get your commission check. You could be a bogus tax preparer. Getting people, putting Pookie and Ray Ray them on there.
Selling bogus heroin.
What? People selling bogus heroin?
Yes.
No.
They know it's bogus.
No, they don't.
Yes, they do.
Like saying that it's something that it ain't?
Yep, bogus weight loss drugs. I'm not a victim of that.
Okay, let's rewind. So let's talk about this weed for
Yes.
Was you there when Ken talked about people wearing But people sell bogus weed?
Yeah, they tell you this.
That's why we need females on the show. See, I did not know this. I just knew that there was something called virgin and
really. Yeah, they'll tell you that it's virgin.
But
and then you pay for it, you pay like $150 plus, and then it fall up on your neck the next day. Bogus.
What?
I love that bogus girl.
Oh, God. Really?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Is this at the little stores?
Or a lot of them are online.
Wait a minute. They selling bogus hair online?
Yeah, they're selling online. They use Instagram.
Don't they have cost like a lot of money?
Yes, that's what I'm saying. Like, they scamming.
Because I know somebody told me that they pay like almost $300.
Yeah. And then people pay more than that.
For some hair.
They put hair on layaway or you can finance hair. Oh my God. I don't do it, but I'm just saying. You can finance your weed.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can.
Like,
Pay
monthly?
later.
No, you can't.
Yes, you can. I'll show it to you.
No,
yes, you can.
What? They got. Man, I'm in the wrong. We being told to stop. Okay. I didn't know that you could finance. Put hair on their way. Okay. All right. Let's go through the third so I can stay out of trouble.
Third, for you young people who have not yet entered the profession, The implication of our text is this. When you ask yourself the question, what is God's will for my life? You should give the resounding answer. His will is that I maintain close fellowship with him and devote myself to obeying his commandments. God revealed what God's revealed with you. The only way you are responsible to the only will you are responsible to obey is your sanctification, not your vocation. Devote yourself to that with all your heart and take whatever job you want. I have no doubt that if you all our young people are bending every effort to stay close to God and to obey the commands of Scripture, God will distribute them in the world exactly where he wants their influence for him.
So there you go. I mean, that gives you a real good example of it doesn't matter what job you're in, but if in that job you're still staying close to God and doing what he has, and you're still keeping his commandments for your life, then he will, and it kind of goes into like what you said about your particular situation. You stay in the will of God, he'll find something, he'll create something for you. He'll put something there that only fits you, and that the people around you who are looking for stuff, or a particular company or whoever who might be looking for something, they will create a position for you. They will create something for you. God will allow him to put it on their hearts and say, you know what, here's something we need. This is a win-win for us. And see, them creating it thinking, oh, this is great for our company.
Right.
They ain't looking at it like it's great for you, but it may have, but it's like, wow. So, they're doing it for them. God said, okay, yeah, I'll let you create it, but I won't let it work out for my good.
Right.
So, yeah, and I like the fact that you pointed out for younger people, because a lot of times, especially, those kids that are in college, the ones that are about to go, when you go to college, you're broke. Especially when you go away. You just broke. Unless you know something I don't, you broke. Mind you may get your books, you may have your room, but, and whatever food you get stocked up with when you first get dropped off. But after that, you sending them text messages. Is somebody gonna put any money in my account? Man, can I get a care package? Get this young GoFundMe page. But no, you do that, and you start looking for jobs, and then when you get ready to get out of school, you changing it. When you're in school, you're changing your major because you're like, I ain't gonna have this, I ain't gonna have that, and I don't have all this student loans stacked up, and so it's like you're constantly, flipping, trying to figure out what's what. And in some cases, you get out of the will of God because you're so concerned about making sure you don't have all these other things going on that you kind of put distance between you and God. What he's saying is, if you stay within the will of God, like what's the will of God? What's God's will for my life? He's saying that maintain close fellowship with him and devote myself, is what he said, devote myself to obeying his commandments.
Yeah, and some people that I graduated from college, initially, they were really centered with God, and that was in their life, but then they started chasing money, and now they are so miserable. Like, they're not happy with their life, and sometimes I think back, well, one of them I'm close enough to actually bring it up, like, have you thought about your relationship with God? Is that why, you're not fulfilled? She can walk in the store and buy whatever she wants, she can purchase whatever she wants, but yet on the inside, hurting, unhappy, and she gets what I'm saying, but I think right now that money thing has controlled her so much that she doesn't even want to recognize that might be the issue. But I think if you keep God first, he will give you the desires of your heart. So I think that's what our young people have to keep in mind once they seek a profession.
Yeah, I know. I remember when I was younger, in my 20s, and it was a money chase for me. Everything was about make money. And then when you start making it, that's why so many kids, college ain't for everybody, but so many kids get distracted from college because they do get that job that kind of fits what they need at the time. So school kind of gets put on the back burner. In some cases, church does too. So you end up chasing after money and you forget who's providing it for you in the first place. So, it was, I remember I was applying for a job when I was working at Comcast years ago, and I kept applying for these manager positions, and they would never give it to me, I'm like, man, I got the top sales, I'm here every day. I don't take off no days. I'm here. I don't understand. And they would never give me a job, never give me a job. And I would go and I was praying to my grandma about it. And telling my grandma, you go pray for me. I went to church. I said, I need you to talk to God. He don't listen to me. So you, my great grandma that is, you need to, I said, you need to talk to him because you good with it. So you need to pray because I ain't getting this job. And she was like, I can pray all day long, but you do it yourself. I'm like, man, look, you don't know me like that. So I ain't been to church since '86. So don't I hadn't. So, I'm trying, it was the truth. I came to church for funeral, you know that. If somebody died, I showed up. That was it. But it took me a while to realize, I'm like, okay. And it wasn't until after she died that I was still, applying for jobs or whatever. I got this job and got promoted and everything. And then, money was coming in hand over fist. And I'm like, okay, but I did come back to church because I recognized it. I'm like, okay, I figured it out. Right. But when all that money was coming in one hand and one out the other, no, God went nowhere around. Right. No, he wasn't there. Yeah, that's 3 minutes. Okay. What we at, number 4? Last one. Oh, good. Okay, so fourth and finally, this text implies that the job you now have, as long as you are there, is God's assignment to you. Verse 17 says, let everyone lead the life which the Lord has assigned to him. God is sovereign. It is no accident that you are where you are. A man's mind plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Proverbs 16:9. Many of these plans in the mind of man, many are the plans in the mind of man, but it is the purpose of the Lord that will be established. The lot is cast in the lap, but the decision is wholly from the Lord. Those Proverbs. So he concludes, he says, you are where you are by divine assignment, even if you got there by fraud. Wow. He says, your job is your ministerial assignment, just as much as mine is. How you fulfill the demands of that job is just as essential in the life as what you do here on Sunday. For many of us, that may mean turning over a new leaf tomorrow morning. Let's all pray before we set out to work. God, go with me today and keep me conscious of your presence. Encourage my heart when I tend to despair, and humble me when I tend to boast. Oh God, give me the grace to obey your commandments, which I know are all summed up in this, to love my neighbor as myself. Amen. Okay, sorry. No, that's actually a good prayer.
Yeah, it is.
That status, borrow that. I get credit. But no, that's actually a good prayer. But I think we do need to recognize, and I like what you say, even if you got there by fraud. So just because you cheated don't mean God didn't still allow it. Yep. So even if you fudged on that resume a little bit, you still in school, but you said you already had a degree. Right. You ain't quite right. Yeah. All right. Anyway, look, y'all, it's good. We've been good. Hopefully we didn't offend y'all with the hair. We sorry. I ain't sorry. Teresa might be sorry, but I ain't. Got y'all with the hair on that way. But I'm sorry, that's just funny to me. But it was a good show. And you out of town this week, right?
I am.
Where you going?
I'm gonna be in Texas.
Texas? What part of Texas?
San Antonio.
Oh, San Antonio, Spurs country.
Yes.
Spurs country. All right. So look, y'all, we out of here. I'll be back on Wednesday, back in the studio. I'll be back. So when you be back?
I'll be back. I'll come back Thursday night. So maybe Friday.
You might be here Friday. Okay, good. All right. So don't forget, y'all, Wednesday, Pastor Clarence E. Storrs Jr. will be sitting right here in her seat. He'll be sitting right here in her seat. And that should be interesting. Marshall Baptist Church, Pastor Clarence Storrs. So look, y'all, we out of here. Y'all be blessed and take it easy. Yep. She was like, hold on. She said,
So you know you put her
let me go to it. Did you read the comment? No. Oh, dog hair. Then she said, tell her to stop. Y'all both stop. Stop now.
They do.
Look, man, we wasn't trying to. Oh, still on this drink? Yeah, you might want to cut that off.